It is really raining out there. Can you guys hear that? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? My name is David DeFranco, and welcome to today's video, which is all about the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller and why I believe this is a must-buy, even at the high price of $85. But I want to tell you exactly why. 5 reasons why I think it's worth every penny. Let's just jump right into it. Reason number 1, the Switch 2 Pro Controller feels very familiar. And well, obviously that's a good thing if you're like me and you really enjoyed the original Switch 1 Pro Controller. Guys, let me tell you, that is honestly one of the best controllers I've ever used in my life. And believe me, I've been gaming since the 80s, so I've used numerous controllers over the years. From the NES days and even the Atari days, not to date myself a little bit, all the way up until, obviously today, the Switch 2 Pro Controller. Guys, I gotta say, this is one of the best feeling controllers I've ever put in my hands. That's some really good thunder. Man, that sounds incredible. Anyway, guys, the point is, if you enjoyed the first controller, you're gonna love this. Yes, it doesn't feel radically different in regards to its size, but in my opinion, that's a good thing. Reason number 2 is huge, but stay tuned because first I have to give a shout out to today's sponsor, InstantGaming.com, and I promise I'm going to keep this short and sweet for you guys because, get this, today's goal is to just tell you guys this. InstantGaming.com is actually hosting a giveaway for you, my viewers, which means that you can win any game of your choice out of their library of literally thousands upon thousands of titles. Guys, the link is right below. Click that link and just click participate. And well, there you go. You're entered into the next official giveaway hosted by InstantGaming.com. And of course, if you're not in it for the giveaway, just explore the site because I can tell you this right now, they have some of the newest and hottest games at steep discounts, including Expedition 33, which in my opinion is an incredible game and just worth buying. So check it out right below. And of course, a huge thanks to InstantGaming.com for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so back to the list. Reason number 2 of why I believe the Switch 2 Pro Controller is definitely worth every penny of that steep $85 price tag is this. The extra Pro buttons are actually worth using. And guys, believe me, I've used other Pro controllers, with those rear buttons that promise you just, more Pro gameplay, extended functionality. And yeah, they work for most people, but I've used the Xbox controller and I've used a third-party controller for my OG Switch. Yeah, those buttons work great. But there's one common theme with every controller I've used that has those extra Pro buttons, and that's the fact that I tend to press them by accident, which sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I hate doing that because the last thing you wanna do mid-gameplay is press a button by accident. Well guys, I have good news for you, and I'm not saying this as a Nintendo fanboy, I'm saying this as a gun-honest person to you. I rarely, very, very rarely press these buttons accidentally because if you look on the back, they're actually recessed very, very slightly, so they don't really protrude onto your fingers too much. And well, guys, I'll just tell you this right now. In games like Tears of the Kingdom, which is right behind me, incredible game, incredible game. I actually used GR, just think of G as grip, GR as my run button. That way I can freely move the camera without having to take my thumb off the stick. And that is a huge deal, and it actually dramatically changed the way I explored Hyrule in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, as well as other games I'm sure that's going to take advantage of this button, such as Donkey Kong Bonanza in just a couple days. So guys, GL and GR for me are game changers. Maybe not a must-have for a lot of gamers, but I consider myself a little more competitive, so these buttons are definitely quite the godsend. Okay, godsend's a little dramatic, but they're really good, trust me. Number 3, now this is kind of a godsend to most gamers because, well, it's one of the most important things you have to keep in mind when buying a new controller, battery life. It's exactly like the Switch 1 Pro Controller. It's going to give you 40 hours of average battery life. That's a lot of playtime, guys. That's a lot of playtime. Let's just say this. You can likely beat Tears of the Kingdom in one playthrough. I mean, as long as you don't do a bunch of side quests. But me personally, I put 65 hours into it. But anyway, the point is 40 hours is a long time, especially when you compare it to the DualSense controller. This isn't me dissing PlayStation. I'm a big fan of the DualSense controller. I mean, technically speaking, I think it's the best controller out there in regards to features and the haptic triggers and all that stuff. But the battery life was a joke, guys. Like, honestly, sometimes I was getting, what, like 5, maybe 6, 7, 8 hours of battery life, which sounds like a long time, but if you go a couple days without charging, well then, yeah, you're gonna have to recharge your controller sooner than you want to have to. And well, the last thing I want to do is have a long cable going from my controller, you know, over to some kind of battery pack or my console. So yeah, 40 hours of battery life, that is one category of where, you know, Nintendo, I mean, guys, they're just consistent. They stay consistent with their controller design and battery life. It's just phenomenal. 40 hours is insane. Number 4, and speaking of insane, guys, I'm gonna date myself once again. I've been gaming for over 30 years, almost 40 years, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I have a lot of experience with a ton of different games and controllers. And if there's one thing I can say today that you need to take away from this video, believe me when I say this, I'm not being dramatic. These are, by far, the best analog sticks I've ever used on any video game controller ever. Not only are they stupidly smooth, I don't know how they do it, but they're incredibly quiet. How many times have you watched a live streamer and you can just hear the plastic clicking when they're hitting the sticks? Listen to this. It's like a very soft touch, and I think I learned why they're so smooth. It's because if you look carefully, the sticks are not actually touching the controller. They're actually kind of like gliding in a way. And guys, that's why I gotta say it again with confidence. Best analog sticks I have ever used in my life. Seriously, like they are just a premium build, and I am not disappointed whatsoever. And of course, that high quality extends over to the face buttons as well, the shoulder buttons, the triggers, everything about this controller just feels premium. It's definitely worth the $85. And finally, reason number 5, this actually does have a built-in headphones jack on the bottom, 3.5mm standard. Now, of course, your Switch does support Bluetooth, but hey, I'm just saying if latency is an issue for you, which it is for me if I'm using Bluetooth headphones on my Switch, I don't recommend it. It's good for casual gaming. Anyway, the point is, if you want zero latency, or in theory, zero latency, more on that in a bit, just plug in a headset right there on the bottom, plug in a good pair of headphones, and just enjoy your game. Immerse yourself in that experience. Now, backing up to what I said before, audio delay. I did a quick search on Reddit. I haven't used a headset on here, so I can't, you know, speak from personal experience because I prefer my 5.1 surround sound. Small flex, maybe, but guys, audio is not that expensive. Go out there and please get yourself even just a $100 soundbar. It will dramatically change the way you game, especially if you're using TV speakers. But anyway, according to some posts on Reddit, some people have said there is a delay, but then other people have said that there's not a delay. If you take the headset out and plug it in again, it apparently fixes it. So just keep that in mind. But again, for me personally, it's not an issue because I don't use a headset, but it's definitely quite convenient if you're just big into headsets and headphones. Well then, in theory, you just plug it in, bada bing, bada boom, you are good to go. And that's something we did not have on the original Switch 1 Pro controller. Anyway, final thoughts. I mean, it's pretty clear. Yeah, $85, trust me, that's a lot of money. However, you have to consider the fact that I already put over 100 hours into my Switch 2 since launch day, and I've been primarily using this controller. No offense to those who like the Joy-Con and the Joy-Con grip. Me personally, I can't do that. Guys, this is so much better. And by the way, fun fact, you actually can use the original Switch Pro controller with the Switch 2, but you're not gonna get that functionality of game chat, which isn't really that important to me. You're not gonna get the premium sticks. You're not gonna get the GL and GR buttons. Also, you cannot turn your Switch 2 on using the original Switch Pro controller, which is very odd. I don't know why you can't do that, but obviously you can with this. Guys, I love this controller. I'm a big fan, and I'm hoping they come out with this controller again, but in, you know, like different colors and configurations. That would be really nice to get like a translucent one or transparent like the old days of the Game Boy Pocket and N64 and all that stuff. But for now, guys, $85, it's worth it. I'm gonna link it right below on Amazon. So what are your thoughts on a Switch 2 Pro controller? Am I being a little dramatic, or do you just hate this controller? If you hate this controller, well then, I just think you're crazy in the head, because the controller really is that good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to check out instagaming.com. Guys, this is your chance to get a game free of charge. Yes, a game free of charge. And again, I have to recommend checking out Expedition 33 on PC or Xbox or whatever. Phenomenal game, beautiful soundtrack. Thank you so much, and well, happy gaming. I'll talk to you soon.